Okay, so today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a short flight from Manchester to Liverpool in X-Plane 11. So Liverpool and Manchester are about 30 or 40 miles apart, and X-Plane 11 is the 11th iteration of X-Plane, which is a competitive flight simulator to Microsoft Flight Sim. Today I'm going to be flying the Boeing 737-800 series, which is one of the smaller Boeing aircraft with two engines. We're going to be starting without the engines running and doing this full startup procedure. So I'm just going to set the start area to Manchester International here. So we're going to start from the ramp. One of the gates. So let's just pick gate 205. And we'll set it time of day to midday, yeah. We're going to set it to clear so you can see what we're doing. One of the features that you can do in X-Plane 11 is you can set it to like real world time of day and real weather. So it'll pull weather information off the internet and it will implement it into game. This does completely work, but I've not had much luck where it's always buggered up the AI for the air traffic control system. So I'm just going to launch it with totally clear midday so you can see all the buttons I'm pressing at the same time. But I'll walk it through step by step so you can see what I'm doing. And you can do it for yourself because it is not something that you really want to do just clicking buttons in a cockpit. But we'll wait for it to load first. That's the first step. Yeah. This is where it loads significantly later for me than it ever did before. As well, one of the things to mention is X-Plane 11 is in beta. I've had multiple crashes with it, but that's any real complex game that's trying to do everything it is doing, so it's kind of to be expected. Hopefully, though, on such a short flight, we're not going to get any of those issues, but we'll see if it'll ever load. So, here we are in the cockpit of the 737. One of the great things about X-Plane is much like DCS, all the buttons can click, so I'm just going to turn on some test lights so you can see what we're doing. Oh, no, I've not got the battery on. So the first step in being able to turn the aircraft on is you need to enable all the batteries. So that's up on your top panel here, and it's battery on, and then you get all these lights turn on. All those are turned on because I turned the lights test to test, so I'll just set that back to normal, and we can see that I've got lots and lots of illumination now. Second is to set the standby power to auto, and that's basically meaning that I can pull battery power from the APU according to that forum I was reading. So next we're going to turn on the APU power generators so they can draw power, and then we can start up the APU. So the APU is this little switch here. So you click it once to on and then click it down again to start, and you'll see this dial here start to turn as it's getting the revs up on the APU. Now we're going to do a lot of things quite quickly. So first of all, we're going to turn on all of the fuel pumps. So we need those to be able to start the main wing engines so that the fuel is actually flowing to them, because we wouldn't do too well without fuel to those engines. Next, we're going to set the pressurization. So this really doesn't massively matter, but I like to do it just because it's quite easy. So here we're going to set landing altitude. Now I know that Manchester is roughly about 400 meters above sea level. So I'll set it to 450, and then my flight altitude, again, this requires some experience, but I know that between Manchester and Liverpool, I'm not going to get that high. So I'm going to set that to, don't zoom in, I'm going to set that to 5,000. Although air traffic, the automatic air traffic hasn't sent me above 4,000 before. Next, I'm going to turn on the APU bleed. So there we go. That works. Next, I'm going to turn on the hydraulic pumps, which is this just to the left of the APU bleed. And then all those lights go off. That's good. Now, some things I'm not going to need, but I'll do just for good practice, is turn on the engine anti-ice and the wing anti-ice. And then I'm going to turn on the window heat probes and turn on the window heat. So now we're pretty much ready to be able to start the engines up. So in a 737-800, this is a simple twist of this knob to the left. So I'm going to click both because it's per engine. So that's my left engine, that's my right engine. And then I'll look down at this panel here, which is my I think it's ECAS monitor. So I can see that this bottom monitor, it's increasing slowly, and then we're seeing the top numbers increase. Now, the next stage is based off when those bottom lights disappear. We then want to look down at the throttle control, and we want to move those both to idle, and then we'll see those numbers shoot up significantly more, and the engine will automatically spool up. When those two lights disappear, you'll notice that these two knobs have returned back to automatic. That's totally automatic procedure. And now we're pretty much good to go.